Today we're focusing on taking on a first-time customer. So I'm going to walk you through my full service from start to finish. So firstly, I start with Lost Artistry Lash Scentsy Bath product. The reason why I choose Scentsy Bath instead of our standard lash bath is because I do not yet know if the client is sensitive to any product, so we want to err on the side of caution. Next, in order to apply it, I'm going to use the Lost Artistry cleansing brush. I do have the foam already on it, so I'm going to get you to close your eyes. So when I'm cleansing, I not only cleanse the lashes, of course that's important, but I also cleanse above on the eyelid and below, just underneath the eye. And the reason why I do both of these areas is because A, oils live on the eyelid, and I need that pad to stick underneath the eye, and in case I do any kind of fun isolation techniques, I also need to utilize the eyelid for, say, tape methods or iPad method or anything like that. So we're giving a really good cleanse. This is gonna help with retention as well. Okay, now when I'm ready to rinse the product off, it's really important to get all the product off, and I'm gonna tilt to the side, have a face cloth on the side of my client, and then I like to use our Nano Mister bottle to rinse cleanser off. And I use warm water in that. I'm not just gonna do one cleanse, I'm gonna do two, just to make sure all the product gets off. Because if we accidentally left product on there, we could interrupt and affect the retention negatively, which we also don't want to do. I commonly get asked if I do this before every single service, and the answer is absolutely. I have been finding that my retention is not the same if I skip this step as well as my priming step. Often when clients are new, like my client is today, in order to prevent their eyes from watering, so I just want to refresh here, she has never before had lashes. So I want to take all the precautions to make sure that her eyes don't water, to make sure that she's not sensitive to light, to make sure I don't scare her away from lash extensions, and to make sure that we do not have irritations or sensitivities. So when a client is new, I like to start with my lights on a low setting. I am filming today, so that's really difficult. So instead, I'm going to open the eyes with my fingers just a little bit. I'm not gonna have her look up because the lights will be much more overwhelming for her if she does look up. So I'm going to use my pointer finger, lift the lid just a little. And actually, another tip, get your client just to tilt their chin back if you're finding the pads hard to put on, and move from side to side. That's okay too. So that's what I'm doing so I can see better. I need to be able to see that full lash line. So the pad should be sitting just along the lash line, not over the water line. We do have another video on how to apply pads if you want to see a more detailed tutorial. I'll link that video below in this caption as well. Next, I'm using micro swab applicators and Band-Aid primer to prime the lashes. I do this before every single service, no matter if it's a fill, full set, everything. Again, I'm not going to go into detail about how to apply Band-Aid today, but if you want another video, just comment below and we can happily link one for you. Now it's time for mapping. So one thing that my model today, my Aunt Carolyn, has said is that she really likes it when her eyes look more open. So that to me speaks more of an open / doll eye mapping, which I think is a really great option for her first time getting lashes. But one thing I will say is I want to make sure that I don't scare her away from lashes by doing anything too dramatic. I want to stick with natural lash extensions because we can always go more dramatic next time. It can scare people away if we go too dramatic too fast. So start small, work your way up. I bet next time she comes in, she's gonna say, oh, I'll get a little bit longer, I'll get a little bit darker. And the more she gets used to lashes, you never know, in a couple months she might have mega volume. But definitely not good to scare people away. My mapping choice is doll eye. I'm gonna do 11 millimeter as my longest, and my curl of choice is going to be C curl. She does have naturally lifted lashes, so I'm not worried about them drooping into her eyes at all. Her lashes aren't downturned, they're quite lifted on their own. So C curl and maybe even some B curl, we'll see, but I think C curl will be good because some of them do sit a little bit lower, so I want just a touch of lift, especially if she wants her eyes to look a little more open. C curl is great, but if you had a client who had upturned natural lashes, I would 150% go for B curl. My shortest length is going to be 6 millimeters, so a pretty nice map. Now I am going to add some textured pieces in there, and I'm going to use 0.03 diameter lashes for my textured pieces. I'm gonna follow much of a hybrid pattern though. We're just looking for soft texture. We're not looking for spikes or anything, just a really nice soft textured effect. So what I'm gonna do is mix 50% closed fans in 0.03s, really fine though. There's only gonna be maybe 6 lashes max using 0.03 diameter. In each fan, and some maybe even a little bit less. I'm not going for anything crazy at all. I'm not going to focus on layering. I'm going to place my long stem 3D pre-fans and my closed fans all the way across the eyes and flicker them back and forth for a nice natural textured effect. And as I've just said, I'm going to work with Lost Artistry Lash Ultra Dark Long Stem Lashes. Here's what they look like. Really soft, really light, great pre-fan if you're new to working with pre-fans because application is much like that of a classic and isolation isn't daunting when you're working with 3Ds either. It's also nice for a client who wants a really soft result. Actually using 3D pre-fans or 3D in general in volume, depending on which diameter you use, can look more natural than classics, depending on which diameter you choose for your classics as well. So if a client needs a little bit of coverage, and she does, if you look closely on her lash line, you can see that there are certain areas, like right here is one of them, where there's a little bit of a natural gap. See right here? So we want to make sure that we offer a little bit of coverage. If we were to do classics, yes, we could work with direction, but we may not get the full amount of coverage that we're looking for. But I think working with 3D and just a little bit of directional correction, that we can cover those little tiny gaps and make the whole set look kind of full like this here. Like her natural lashes sit throughout the rest of the eye. Her direction's pretty good. Inner and outer corner, really weak. So we want to be cautious there. 3D is a great choice because she does have really fine lashes on the inner and outer corner. So less length and less drama in these areas. Glue-wise, I'm working with Invisibond. The reason why I chose Invisibond today is because it is the same chemical makeup as sensitized adhesive, but it's clear. So if we can stick with glues that are on the sensitive side, that's great for first-time customers because we do not know if they are sensitive to any products. And Invisibond not only has no black carbon / pigment, but it also is in fact a sensitive adhesive, but that doesn't mean that the retention's not strong. It's amazing. So definitely important to stick with a gentle glue for first-time customers. Next, I am again taking another precautionary measure by working with Freshie. So Freshie is a product that sucks glue fumes out of the air and into the bottle. So I'm gonna lay that on the side of me just in case she is sensitive or just in case the eyes wanna water, just trying to lessen the possibility of having any sort of reaction or uncomfortableness. We wanna keep our clients happy. Start by applying my spiked fans first, and then I'm going to finish by applying my pre-fans. So I'm going to work in such a pattern that I cover 50% of the lashes I'm gonna skip lashes along the way while applying my spikes, and then when I move on to my pre-made fans, I'm gonna cover in the rest of the lashes. Tweezer wise, it was important for me to work with a fine pointed isolation tweezer and also a curved isolation tweezer. The reason why I needed a fine tip is because she does have quite a few fine lashes throughout, and some of them are a little bit unruly. The reason why I needed something with a really nice curvature is because she does have deep set eyes, so it was nice to have that curvature so that it can get in over the brow bone and easily isolate the lashes. Now, pre-made fans only come in lengths 8 and above. So I'm gonna make my own handmade fans for the inner corners where I use 6 and 7 millimeter lengths. And you can totally have these prepared if you're still learning to do handmaids. You can have them prepared and save them in your empty pre-fan trays, and then you can have your own crystallized pre-fans that are ready to go so that you don't have to fan on command if you're not feeling comfortable with that. When customers are new, I like to always check in and just say, how you doing? How you doing? Okay, let me know if at any point it feels uncomfortable. The service actually isn't supposed to feel uncomfortable, so if the pads feel irritating or the glue feels irritating or the light or anything, just let me know. And if you let me know, then I can easily fix it before it becomes a problem. No discomfort, no burning, no nothing. And you can see that her inner corners are quite fine, these lashes. And usually when we have really fine lashes on the inner and outer corner, there are sometimes these little hidden lashes that kind of fall into our section, so be mindful of those. Extra light may be really important when we're working with fine lashed clients. And I'm gonna get her to move her head back quite often, especially with, again, fine lashed clients and deep set eyes. We really want to move that chin back or move our body around our client because we need to be able to see where the lashes grow from the skin. That's extremely important. I also find looking from the side when I'm applying helps me so much, because sometimes when I look from the top, it's almost like an optical illusion or something, but the lashes look perfectly applied, and then I look from the side and it's slightly lifted. So I always just take a quick glance from the side to make sure that everything's looking good. I'm really feeling pretty happy with my decision on choosing shorter lengths because these lashes are quite fine and short naturally, so I don't want them to twist or turn on her. Especially not her first experience getting lash extensions. Not that I ever want them to twist and turn, but shorter lengths are a great transition into extensions, but particularly for those who have really short or fine natural lashes. Placement wise, I usually like to place about 0.5 millimeters away from the skin, but given the fact that it's her first time getting lashes, I'm placing them a little closer to 1 millimeter away from the skin. Again, just taking precautionary measures, making sure that we don't have any sort of reactions. So if I can prevent that and slowly ease her into the lash experience, then that's what I'm gonna do. So to get in and see the inner corner lashes better, I'm going to use an isolation hack. Where I section off all the other lashes with my iPad. Don't worry, it won't affect retention. And I'm gonna pull the lid and the natural lashes to the side. That way then I have a really clear view of the lashes I want to work on. Soft textured finish without a lot of mapping, planning, and stuff like that, I'm gonna work with feathering. So we do have a video on this. If you want a full-blown tutorial, again, just look up feathering Lost Artistry Lash, and I'll also link it below. But basically all of my lengths will have 2 millimeter shorter lengths within the section as well, minus the 6 and 7 millimeter. I might put a 6 in the 7, but there's not many lashes in there, so I'm gonna avoid the inner corner. But say, for example, in my 11 millimeter section, I'm gonna mix 9 and 10 in there too. That gives a really nice grow out and a soft texture. The layers also just naturally help create texture, so if you're not focusing on like putting a certain length on one layer, a different length on another layer, but you're just kind of like following your map, then you're gonna get soft texture from that anyways, because some lashes sit higher than others, which creates a nice feathered, textured finish. Almost mimics the natural lash growth, because our natural lash growth cycle is always happening, and there's some lashes that are tiny, some lashes that are grown. So it's kind of what we're creating. Real natural looking eyelash extensions. I love doing this for clients who are like, I don't know, I don't want my lashes to be too crazy. I don't want anything too wild. I just want them to look like they're my lashes without being my lashes. Feathering and shorter lengths, less curl, obviously depending on the client. Check out our mapping 101 video. That'll help map if you want some more guidance. But feathering, wonderful. There's some really fine lashes in here, like look at this one right there. I am working with 0.03, so I will lash that, but I'm only using like 3 or 4 extensions on a really fine natural lash. But if I didn't lash that, then we'd end up with a little gap. So some people will have really fine lashes, and you can lash them, but you have to be so strategic. Like I said, I'm working with 0.03 diameter and only like 3 to 4D max, which is super, super lightweight. I do have to work with quite a bit of direction for the set, so I'm placing my extensions mainly on one side of the natural lash or the opposite. So I can direct and make it look like the lash flows perfectly straight. You can see this lash veers to the left, so I place my extension on the right to direct it and make it look like it flows nice and perfect. The nice thing about applying your classics or your wet lashes like I'm doing today first is because it makes volume isolation so much easier later, because we've extended the lashes, so it makes isolation so much easier. So you can use, say, the stronger natural lashes for the classics or the closed fans when you're doing, say, a hybrid set or a spiked lash set or whatever. And then from there, isolation gets easier, especially if you're working with wide fans. This is such a good hack. And my tweezer of choice today is the L-curved gold member tweezer for volume. Even when you're making wet lashes, you really need something with a good, strong sweet spot. And I like the L-curve because it has a pretty fine tip as well, which also helps me isolate. So a little hack. See this? I can flip it over and isolate. Actually, it's getting pretty close to Black Friday, so if you're looking for a new tweezer, never know, we could have some pretty good Black Friday deals. You can start looking around, seeing what you want to buy. You can head to our website at lostartistrylash.com, see if there's anything that you like, and then if you want to try something new, it would be a good time to do it during Black Friday. So you gotta start building that cart. And I don't want to give anything away, but our glues, it will definitely be a good time to try new glues and new tweezers. Just saying. Now I'm applying my pre-made fans. I am working with 3D long stem pre-fans, and I'm following the exact same map. Now, something cool about 3D pre-fans, you can absolutely direct them. All you have to do is follow the same pattern as you would for direction of a classic lash. So let's find a lash that needs direction. So this one here naturally wants to sweep to the left. So I'm going to direct it and counteract that left hand direction. A lot of words, but I'm gonna place it on the right side of the natural lash, and that will make it want to fall straight. I'm using the same glue, the same tweezers, and I'm following the same application pattern. So I'm just working across the eye, skipping lashes along the way, just so the eyes look balanced in case I do not cover 100%. I always like to make sure that the bottom layer is covered because that's what the client sees when they open up. So I'm just gonna use my inspection mirror to just check it out. And I need to focus on that layer, so I'm gonna pull those lashes back a little. Make sure that I get all those bottom layered lashes. Now that I've completely finished my set, I always finish, no matter what service I'm doing, with Super Bonder. This is my #1 product. It is a sealant that locks in fumes. It also lessens the likelihood of irritation, sensitivities, and makes the hold much more flexible and long lasting. So it's the best product, and I never skip it. I've just taken some and put it on one micro swab, and now just to make sure that we don't get any on the skin or in the eyes, I'm just transferring it to the other micro swab before using it. Now I'm gonna brush it along the base. Oh, something important to note is that I did wait 2 minutes, and I used my fan to dry the lashes before using this product. And then afterwards, I'm gonna use the fan again, wait 2 more minutes, and then the client can also get their lashes wet if they want right away. It also helps, it has so many functions, but it also helps make the lashes oil resistant, not oil proof, but oil resistant, which in turn means better retention. As always, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Go ahead and leave a comment below if you have a little input on this set, or just to let me know what you think of the overall finish. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so that we can always bring fresh new videos right to your screen.